prayer. God was showing me, I heard you and I gave you. When I got the job, I did the best that I could. I got re-elected a second time. Okay? I want to tell you about my first job. First of all, I said, I finished Form 4. I got a C. Okay, I got a C. I went to A levels. I got 2 principals in economics and history. I went to my father with a piece of paper, because I grew up in Mombasa. So I went to my father with a piece of paper for me to go to school, to go to university. I had applied to the University of Surrey to go into hotel management. We're 5 in the family. So I went to my late father and I said, Dad, I want to go to Surrey to learn hotel management so I can come back and work in the hotel industry. So my father looked at the amount and he said, this is too much. You have to find something to do here. So there was Utalii College, but he says, no, I don't want you to go to Nairobi. So I was like, so what am I supposed to do? So there was Block Hotels, which offered a 2-year management training program. So I wanted to work for Block Hotels. But when I went to Block Hotels and said, I need to come in and work for you and be a trainee, because you had to be working for them to get into the training program, they said, sorry, we are full. We don't have any jobs. So I said, okay, fine. Can I train for free? I want to go and work for the Intercontinental, which is going to open very soon. So can I train here for free? Hotels part-time. So the next morning, I get a phone call. The chairman of, Mr. Smith, the chairman of Block Hotels wants to see you. So I said, sure. I rushed from my in town, went to Nyali, and the chairman said to me, Esther, we like what we saw, would like to offer you a job. Oh, I didn't tell you, they asked me at night, do you work here? And I said, no, I don't work here. I'm just training here. I'm going to work for the Intercontinental as soon as it opens. That offered me a job. Yeah, that's the part. I said, so the guy asked me, so, when did you join Nyali Beach? I said, no, I haven't joined Nyali Beach. They don't have a job opportunity for me. I'm just working for free training to go and work for the Intercontinental, which should be opening in a few months. So the next day when I went there, again, strategy, it's called wisdom. Huh? There's a difference between wisdom and lying. Okay, so I go there and he says, so how much has Intercontinental offered you? So quickly I said, 4,000 shillings. And they go, okay, we'll offer you more to start. We'll offer you 5,000. And when can you start? I said, immediately. Bring the letter, we'll sign it, and I start immediately. So I want you to know that I worked in Nyali Beach Hotel. I did the 2-year training. I did my kitchen training in Norfolk with Eamon Mullen. He didn't like women in his kitchen. So when you came for the kitchen training, the first thing he did was to give you onions to peel, potatoes, a whole sack of potatoes, and then garlics to peel. He really tortured you. He wanted you to give up. And then after you've cut your fingers all through, he'll give you lemon to squeeze. I mean, he was like sadistic. All right? But I did my training. So why am I saying that? Because life is hard. It's not going to be easy. Even being in the job that I am right now is not easy. Having the kind of followers I have, 1.5 million followers, and then having, when you make one mistake or you do something that they don't like and you get all the backlash, but then you've got to have thick skin. All right? What you think about me is your opinion. All right? I know who I am. You know that song? I know who I am. You've got to know who you are. And the only way to know who you are is to spend more time with yourself, right? And with your family, because you see, the apple never falls far from the apple tree. So you are the children of your mom and dad. You are the children of your great-grandparents, all right? Your grandparents. You have family that genetically you are wired the same. You could be the one that brings the family up here. I'm the only politician in my family, all right? Okay? So you can be anything you want to be, but character and your foundation from your mother and your father. Don't think because now you're educated, maybe my mother never went to Form 4, now I've got an A, no. Your grandmother, your mother, your great-grandmother, they all have gone through life. And let me tell you, going through life doesn't mean a big house, a big car, a fancy job. Going through life is getting through hardship and overcoming hardship. The best advice I've ever gotten was from my grandmother, who never went to school. My late grandmother, one day I went to her and I asked her, and she was married to a Muzungu during the colonial times, so she must have been pretty heavy, you know. So I went to her one day and I asked her, I said, Granny, what is love? And she gave me an explanation of love that no one has ever given me and no book has ever given me. So for me, she was extremely wise. She said, love is when you are sick and the person who's looking after you cleans you, wipes you, feeds you, and still smiles and tells you, I love you. And the minute they've done that, you vomit again, or you wet the bed, and they still tell you, I love you. They do it with absolute love. They don't make you feel like you're a burden. They make you feel that you are special. And what they're doing for you is the least they can do for you. So for me, my grandmother showed me that love is total commitment without conditions to caring compassionately about someone else. All right? And when she died, she gave me a blessing. And I want you to know that blessings come from God. But the 10 Commandments says, honor your mother and your father. Okay? So grandmother, grandfather, father, mother. The day my grandmother, a week or so before my grandma died, she held my hand and she said, you know, I have so many grandchildren, but you're the only one that's here all the time. All right? So I want for you, you know how you've been here for me? I want for you when you are old and you needy, I want for you 2 people like you to look after you, not one. I've had one, but for you I want 2. Look for those blessings, my children. Look for those blessings. And they come from appreciating your parents. They come from going to visit Buka and Shosho. They come from keeping your self-respect until you meet the one. The one. The one who wants to honor you. With marriage, with commitment, with doing good for you. Don't just waste your life. Don't be in a hurry. If at 32 I could have a child, you can wait. You can wait. And don't go having children when you can't afford them. All right? Right now you are at the time where I need you to study. Take advantage of your holiday. Enjoy yourself, but don't be misused. Don't be a statistic of single mother, unsafe abortions because you didn't plan, all right? And then you end up going to a clinic and giving your parents even bigger hell, getting sick. Take your career. Think about what career you want. And by the way, you can make a mistake with your career. I have a friend of mine who studied to be a vet. She finished, and when she went to deliver some cow, she was under there and all that thing came on her face, and she stood up and said, this is not for me. I'm not going to be a vet. And she went on to study and became a lawyer. So she didn't look at it as waste, she looked at it as life's experience. And now she's a lawyer. So you can make changes in between your career. All right? I started off as a hotel manager. I ended up with my own company where I employed deaf people called Sharper Images, which I started on my own. How did I start Sharper Images? Sharper Images, I used to work for a company called Adventure Promotions. I was their sales girl. And I can sell oil to the Arabs and ice to the Eskimos. And anyone can sell. You just have to have words that matter. Those words that the boys lie to you, here, out here. But sales, you can sell anything. You know, you can say, if somebody says to you, let's go for pizza, and you say, no, let's go for KFC. If you win, you've sold them, okay? So we are always selling. Mommy, can I go out? Daddy, can I have some pocket money? You're selling all the time. All through your life, you've been selling, okay? So you can always sell. So I used to work for Adventure Promotions. I used to sell promotional t-shirts when I moved up to Nairobi. And after I left Nyali Beach, I moved up to Nairobi. Of course, following love, which didn't work. I tell you, they can tell you lies. Take it from me. I never liked cooking. My sister, my elder sister, loved cooking. So she was the one who always cooked. I was the one who washed the dishes. When my mother would tell me, Esther, which man is going to marry you when you can't cook? I used to say, Mommy, I'll marry a cook. I'll marry a chef. So he can do all the cooking. So, careful what you say with your mouth. Careful what you say with your mouth, because it comes to haunt you. So I was working in Nyali Beach, and there was a movie being made by Kabir Bedi, Mountains in the Moon, I remember. And there was a chef called Rolf Schmidt who had come to do catering. And he was absolutely blown by me. So, he goes and sets a beautiful dining on the beach and sends somebody to invite me to the beach. And he had set the dinner, the table, and he was cooking himself. My goodness, I met my chef. I didn't even wait for my mother and father to hear the story. Huyo, I resigned, I'm in Nairobi. I get to Nairobi, I find out, oops, this guy is not divorced. So I start looking for another job. I break up with him, I look for another job, and I end up with Adventure Promotions. I sell, and I wanted to see the world. You know how your chief principal said about seeing the world? You have to see the world, it's beautiful, all right? So here I was. I sold, I wanted to get on the Orient Express and go around the world. So I used to tell the company, don't give me my commissions, keep them, keep them, keep them. You will give them to me when I'm ready to go on leave and to go around the world. So when it's time when I wanted to go around the world, I asked for my commissions, which should be a huge sum of money, maybe millions. And the says, oh, now we're not doing well, we don't have that money, we can pay slowly, we can't give you lump sum. So there goes my dream. Never leave anyone with your money. Take it, keep it in the bank, open your account. So I didn't go around the world at that time. But what I did is I went to work for Africa Air Rescue. In fact, I was their first sales and marketing manager for Africa Air Rescue, which is AAR now. So when I went to work for AAR, all my clients, which included Coca-Cola, kept looking for me because the company was not able to service their accounts for t-shirts and hats and whatever. So the president of the Coca-Cola company said, Esther, we really need the t-shirts, your company has messed us up, take the money, go and do these t-shirts. Then in the end they told me, form a company and then we'll give you all our orders because we want to work with you. So I formed Sharper Images. I was working at Africa Air Rescue, scared to go and work for myself even though I had the company on the side. So I was earning 2 incomes. My boss in Africa Air Rescue used to always ask me, where's the car? So the car was always delivering t-shirts while I was in the office doing my paperwork. So in the end we had hostility between myself and my boss. And at that time I just got to know Jesus. My boss was called Lord Anastelen. I was conflicted, I didn't want to call him Lord. I mean, now I wouldn't be because it's a title. But at that time when he said, you will address me by my title, And I would say, no, there's only one Lord for me. So obviously I was headed out. I finally got out. And when I got out, I started my company, Sharper Images. It turned over 100 million at its height. I did over 500 million in business. We employed deaf people. So I discovered later on when I did Adopt a Light and we lit up the city and we employed street families, that I'm a social entrepreneur. I didn't know I was a social entrepreneur until later. I like to do business that contributes something to the society. And that's what we have to do. Even right now, you can contribute something to society. It doesn't have to start when you're rich. The little that you have, when you give, it comes back tenfold. So for me, all I can tell you is that life isn't easy. Life is going to be hard. You'd have to make some tough decisions in your life. And you've got to know what you want. And you've got to be willing. I didn't know I was going to be a politician. I mean, the first time I met a politician was when Jomo Kenyatta came to our school. And we were out in a parade. But I didn't see much because I fainted. I couldn't stand in the sun for too long. So I fainted. But then, you know, I got very angry with Jomo Kenyatta because I was born on 20th October, and it was always a public holiday. So my Kikuyu mother, who liked saving money, would not give me sweets on Monday to take to school because my birthday was obviously on a public holiday. So I kind of didn't like politics. I got into politics by accident because I didn't like what they did to my company, Adopt a Light. I felt that if a government doesn't appreciate somebody who's doing something good, then I followed what JFK said. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So that became my inspiration. I said, you know what? I'm going to get in and fix it from within. Corruption is a big animal. It's difficult to fix, but it starts with you and I. Okay, I once had my driver calls me and tells me, Mama, I've been arrested at Bagathi Way. And I said, why? I jumped a solid line. So I said, okay, I'm coming. After a few minutes, my driver calls me, Mom, nishawachiliwa naelekea pale huko. I said, how come? Nilimpatia polisi 1,000 akaniachilia. I rushed there. I told my driver, go back to that same police station. I went to the OCPD and I told him, that police officer who took that 1,000 shilling and this driver of mine, I want them both charged. Because it starts with you and I. We have to fight corruption. Sometimes it's the easiest way. And I think it takes all of us. Okay? When we point a finger, there are 3 pointing at us. It's a big elephant in the room. There's a lot of work to be done, but I celebrate the peace in this country. I celebrate the hard work and the efforts that the president is trying to make. Let me tell you, as woman rep, I pull my hair. You can see here, there's little. Okay, and it's not age, it's politics. Okay? Because I had a lot of hair. It's politics. It's stressful. You know, wazazi, nyinyi hiyo nyumba yenu ndogo ya watoto kama 3, 4, munaona vile iko ngumu ku manage. Sasa we imagine woman rep wa Nairobi nzima, and I've got the biggest county. Alafu imagine rais wa nchi nzima. You know, sometimes we expect miracles, right? But he's not God. So if we expect good things from this country, 1, it starts with us. 2, we've got to pray. And also, we are what you think. You know, there's a saying, you are what you think about all day long. So if we think on a daily basis, we are corrupt, we are horrible, we are thieves, we are drug addicts, we are criminals, you know, we are teenage mothers, we are single mothers, we are all these horrible things, then what happens? We become that. We attract that. So, from your mouth to God's ears, let only good things come. We are working towards, usijidanganye. You know, I cannot stand here and say I am slim. No, I'm working towards being slim. Work in progress, okay? So you have to say we are working towards a corrupt-free country. We're working towards a prosperous country. I'm working towards being rich. On your goal, on your prayer. And then also pray for good health, wisdom, and energy for our leaders. Because our leaders are in office to serve 50 million plus. And it's not an easy job. You know, I voted for Baba. I have been with Raila from 2007. I respect him for everything that he has done. And there will only be one Baba in this country that we call Baba. That's Raila. But I also respect that he loves this country so much that sometimes he puts his own desires aside and says, let's work for the good of this country. All right? So right now we are praying. And you know, people say, oh, opposition. I saw Taifa Leo had a heading recently that said, "Hii nchi sasa muko peke yenu, bunge ishanuliwa, hakuna bunge tena, rais amechukua Kenya." I want you to know something. At the end of the day, bunge is independent, judiciary is independent, media is independent, and executive is independent. But we can't always fight. If we fight, we will not get any work done. There are times that you have to allow the president the leverage to deliver because you all elected him as president. So for me, Ivy class, congratulations. We are proud of you. Apollo, nitakuja nilale hapa a few nights ili to make sure we meet our target. Kenya won. That's a big dream. Kenya won. Buruburu girls will one day be #1 in the newspapers as the country performing in Kenya. To the teachers, the principal, the board, the parents association, wazazi, asanteni sana kwa kunisikia. Bora uko na uhai, tufanye kazi ya Mungu. Asanteni sana.
Let us appreciate our honorable member. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Essential staff. Essential staff. Essential staff. Mr. Malloy, please. Essential staff. Thank you, Miss Betty. Essential staff. Madam Lillian Kagwiria, the school bursar. Thank you for the good work that you are doing. We can't do it when you are not there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, the essential staff. Thank you so much. Next one, we are now going to the students, and we are awarding last year's group 2023. We start from the Form 1, the subject champions. You hurry up.